question?
And yeah, so the next question goes into youth involvement. What will you do to raise the number of youth, people under 30, engaged in politics and involve people under 30 in political decisions and address their opinions and concerns?
Great question. We're going to start with
yeah. One of the things that I think we need to bring back is civics education. We have a grade 10 program. And there are 2 half courses. One of them is focused on careers, which, as I understand it, taught young people nobody goes to because it's boring, they say. Is it true?
Yes.
And the other one is the half course on civics. In my mind, it's shameful. When I was in high school, I didn't have a clue about politics. I suspect young people still don't have a clue. If we are not taught about how politics affects our lives, we're not going to get involved. And so in my view, we have to start young. And we should be starting in elementary schools. Kids are incredibly intelligent. If we give them the tools when they're young in the elementary school system, they will learn about politics, they will like it, they will know how it affects their lives, and they'll want to be involved to change the direction of politics if they don't like it, so they can be change agents. And so in high school, I really believe that we need to have a full-time course, at least, in civics, so people understand politics and know how it impacts their lives. We also need to get interesting people to come to those classes, because if you're lucky enough to have a good teacher, God bless, and if it's not a great teacher, you'll be turned off politics. In the same way that some people are turned off French, core French, because I can tell you as a former core teacher, when you're only learning 20 minutes or half an hour of French, you're going to hate it, because it's grammar. People can't learn the language. That's why we need to teach immersion, which is another subject of another discussion. But we need to engage students, and the only way to do it is to make sure that we have a full-time course, at least in grade 10, so people are better engaged.
Well, one of the ways to do it is just what we're all doing here today, participating in this forum. And as a political leader and leading a political party, you'd be amazed at how busy my schedule is, but it's a priority for me to be here today, and I appreciate our other colleagues who are here today. I'm doing the Green Party in general, we're doing a lot of work around social media, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all of that to engage youth. But I want to say that all of the social media tools, which are wonderful, doesn't replace face-to-face interaction. Social media is just a tool. And so that's one of the reasons I make it a priority to visit university and college campuses, to visit high schools and even elementary schools. I've done that over the last few weeks. Every community I go to, I make it a point to be on student radio, do student newspaper interviews, because it's important to engage. I think it's important to empower youth in our organizations. I know within just the Green Party itself, we have a number of people under the age of 30 in highly responsible decision-making positions. Because I want to have youth involved, not just, just involved, but actually making decisions and being empowered to make decisions. I think we have to look at reforming our voting system. I speak to so many youth who say, you know what, I feel like I may not vote because my vote's wasted. And I think if we move to a proportional representation system, where literally every vote counts, and every party that earns a seat at the table as a part of leaders' debates, a part of political debate, and has a seat in the legislature will make a difference. And finally, I think we need to study whether we should lower the voting age to 16. Because I know a number of young people who are just as well informed and as civically engaged as anybody of any adult age, any age. And so I think we need to look at that, to engage youth in the political system as soon as possible and get them voting. Thanks.
So I think there are systemic things that need to happen, and then I think there are individual things. Just a quick anecdote. I had an interview with a grade 5 student this week, just before school started, before I was out handing out my flyers at the beginning of school, and he had sent an email to every single candidate in Don Valley West, and I was the only candidate who responded. And they connect with us as people in decision making, or just as older people. I think that is the fundamental. And so I think you build from that. Systemically, When I was the Minister of Education, I created the Minister's Student Advisory Council.
Well, I think you really need to get involved. You just can't sit back and just take it. If you don't like what you see, if you don't like what's happening, you got to stand up and voice your opinions. And that's actually what I did a year ago when I work for the federal government actually, and I didn't like what my local councillor was doing. I didn't like what the mayor was doing. So instead of just complaining about it, I decided to run. And that's what you need to do as youth. You need to get involved, you need to follow what's happening, what the issues are, and not just take it and stay silent. Get involved, shout, let your voice be heard. Tell your friends about it. You know, and for this election, if you're old enough to vote, bring one person with you to vote. At least if everyone takes one other person who wouldn't normally vote out to the voting station and votes, you've done a good job. And it starts small, but your voice does count. It really does count. And I encourage you all to look at the platforms, read about it, and follow it along. Let your friends know, let your neighbors know. Get involved. It's the best thing you can do. We are a democratic society, and we fought hard for this democracy, very hard. And we have to keep it, we have to cherish it, we have to value it.
Mike, I'm going to put you on the spot for a second with the extra wild card. That was a very good response, but specifically, what would your party do to help youth engage?
Well, I'm doing a lot.
Well, I have no doubt there. I'm not questioning your response. You're definitely doing a lot. You're leading by example. Is there anything in the platform that your party would do to help or encourage or facilitate more youth engagement?
Well, talking to the other PC candidates, we're all out there. We're all trying to get youth engaged, and letting the youth know is extremely important. You know, I don't think that's something you need to put into a platform. That's just common sense. You just got to get out there and let the youth get engaged. They're our future. We realize they're our future. This is why our platform is geared towards the future of the youth and creating jobs for them.
Great, thanks.